it's hard for me to talk about onboarding because onboarding is like a function, and it's not really related to people initiatives, right? Because onboarding is a part of the employee journey, but it touches a bunch of different. It's affecting a lot of different initiatives.
True.
Right. I'm more interested in how do we do it in the context of an initiative,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So if my initiative is to improve my turnover and reduce it,
Mm-hmm.
right, then I would say, okay, my initiative, I'm trying to make sure that fewer people leave,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I would do is I would look at the journey and say, okay, when do they leave? How many are people, like, are they leaving within the first 30 days, within the first year,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who is leaving? Professionals versus warehouse workers, right? And then I would start figuring out, okay, the more I know about those people, like how can I, during the onboarding phase, what can I do so that the pressure for them to leave or that driver that's caused by during the onboarding phase is reduced, is mitigated, right? So I'd be looking at the various data points.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be looking to understanding like what kind of behaviors, right? Like how does my behavior as an employee, what are the things that I care about, right? So we've talked about different factors of behavior, social and psychological, different factors and drivers. Like I'd be looking at all of those things and say, okay, during this phase, right, what's more important? Professional drivers, social drivers, all those other things.
I got them.
Yeah.
So the ones that you've put down is psychological, social, cultural, which we should talk about,
Yeah.
personal, and economic.
Exactly. So I have a variety of different drivers, and think of them as levers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that depending on where you are in your employee journey, those things are going to become, the effectiveness of those levers is going to change.
Mm-hmm.
So what's important to understand is during onboarding, what's most important? Like what are those levers? Like if I just hired you, you could prognosticate that potentially economic has been taken care of. Otherwise, why would you expect the offer, right? So as I rank those drivers, I would say, okay, maybe cultural is a big one, right? I've come in, I've stayed here, like I've come from one company where, let's say it's a consulting business. I came from the body shop into a company that's project driven and, fixed bid driven, right? So complete culture shock.
Totally.
Right? So if I don't understand, so for example, if I'm hiring people and I could then segment my new hires into where they came from, right? And if these people came from a body shop mentality where they've been treated as just a resource at an hourly rate, now they're coming to a company that's a product company, right? So I would be managing, and my efforts with that segment of the population would be completely different if I, was hiring people from a similar industry who understand the culture, who have been exposed to similar processes, right? So if I were to treat, let's say I have two segments, if I were to treat my entire new hire population the same way, right, then half of the population would be like, well, I get that. Like, why they will be tuning out, right?
And it's not there are a lot of words for tuning out. It could be the disengagement, the quiet quitting,
fatigue.
all of that. But foundationally, like you don't feel you belong.
Exactly.
Because now when
you'd feel like these guys don't get it. Why are they sending this to me? Obviously they don't care, right? So if I get
Obviously
5 letters from the
care.
same, like imagine you go to the mailbox, you open up the mailbox, there is 10 envelopes from your local grocer, and you get 10 different offers. You'd be like, look guys, you don't know what you're doing.